I'm going to be ranking all of Gorilla Tag's new modding gadgets in a tier list so we can see what one is the best and the worst, in my opinion, but I only speak facts, so if you think differently, then you're just wrong. So subscribe, use code SNAIL, and let's get into it. But let me stop glowing. Let me get this bonus point. Yeah, boom. Yeah, I got another one. Yeah. Yeah, there we go. Why am I still glowing? I guess I'm just glowing forever. So let's get into checking out all these gadgets. I'm going to start with the thruster since it's just the first one here, and we're going to start with the canister rocket. And this is going to be based off of the fully upgraded versions of all of these gadgets because I do have all of them fully upgraded. And I'm only going to be using one of each of these gadgets because you could definitely do a lot better if you had two of them, but we're going to base this off of just one. Now let's get into the fully upgraded canister rocket. And this one is actually pretty good. You can get anywhere you want to be pretty much with just one charge. You can get pretty high, you can get away from people, you can escape. The only thing that sucks with the thrusters is the recharge time. Even fully upgraded, it's still not fully charged, and we're waiting, and we're waiting, and we're waiting. Okay, it's good. Yeah! Definitely something that can be alleviated if you use two of them, and you can use like one at a time and kind of feather the trigger and try to make it last longer. But if I time how long it takes to fully recharge, let's see. 20, 21, 22. Like 22 seconds to get your full recharge back. So a lot of the times, you're just not going to be using this unless you're actually engaging in escaping or trying to tag someone. You do have some nice maneuverability. You know, you can move around if you don't hit stuff like that branch I hit. But even though the recharge time is pretty long, you can still get to places that you just want to get to. Like almost top of tall tree. I'm running away from Lucy now. She's going to get me. Stay away. Stay away. Go away. No, I have stars, I have mods. Come on, Lucy. Give me shiny rocks and I'll let you. But I'm going to be giving the canister rocket an A tier. It's a good one. It's kind of like the baseline. You know, it's fully upgraded, but this is kind of the base one. I've seen most people using this. It's just, hey, it's a little fly mod. Whee! And then the next one we have is the Propeller Thruster. The Propeller Thruster is pretty much like the canister rocket, except it has less power and you have a bit more maneuverability when you're going sideways. Might have a little bit more fuel, but it's not actually that much better, if any at all. When you're using a thruster, you're trying to get away. You're trying to go places. You're not trying to get just a bigger jump. You're trying to get all the way over there. And if I was to directly compare the Propeller Thruster and the canister rocket, let's see which one has more fuel. Let's do it at the same time. Propeller thruster's still going, and now it's gone. So it'll definitely use this fuel a lot more efficiently. It might even recharge a bit faster, but it really don't fly lightning. It definitely uses fuel more efficiently, and I think the recharge time is actually faster, but it's still, you're not really gaining any height. Like, I literally am gaining none. What? Wait, why am I not gaining any? But the canister rocket, whee! Now I'm gonna be a car. But I'm going to be giving the Propeller Thruster a B tier. It's not as good as the canister rocket. Like, get that out of there. I want this. Whee! And now it's time to move on to the different versions of the long arms. And we have a lot of them to go through, starting with the regular stilts. The original, the OG, the long arm. And the regular stilts are pretty good, but honestly, they get in the way too much. It's kind of hard to control yourself on Steam. Like, I'm bouncing all over the place. The one is definitely a lot better than two when it comes to that. You just gotta know what one's your long arm. I really wouldn't recommend having two long arms. I would put something else in your other hand. You can do your wall climbing, you just gotta flick the wrist more. But this kind of wall climbing I've found to be like kind of impossible with these stilts. Like I can't do it. I can't. Here we go. There we go. Yep. Big swings. There we go. I'm figuring it out in real time. There we go. Easy. But in my opinion, the original version of the stilts are the worst, and for a good reason. There's upgrades that have different upgrades to the original version. So I'm going to be giving the basic stilts a D tier. These are actually pretty bad. Good when you get the tag upgrade, but like it's still in the way. And it's honestly a lot harder to move faster when you're using long arms because people want to be down towards the ground. But now let's move on to the next version of the long arms. Yeah. And those are the short stilts. The regular stilts, but they're a bit shorter. So it does help mitigate one of the problems that the regular stilts had, which was just being too long and in the way. But they're still a little bit in the way. But they also give up some of what they were by being not as long arms. At least I can kind of stay still with this. At least better than the regular one. But no change to how it actually functions. There's no like speed increase, none of that. You have just less range. And it's not the worst, it's not the best. But I think, honestly, it's just going to have to be another D tier. But for good reason, just directly pros and cons. It took the pro of being a longer arm and the con of it being in the way, and they just kind of went 50-50 with it. Lucy, go away. Subscribe if you're sick of Lucy. Lucy, I got long arms. Haha. Yeah, you got really short arms, Lucy. But now we are done with these short stilts. Yeah. And we are on to the long stilts. These are the very long arms. In fact, let me grab the regular stilts to compare. Boom. It's a bit longer, which means it's more in the way, but it's also longer reach. So it really depends on how much in the way your long arms are. How good are you with the long arms? And with the super long arm on Steam, I can barely stay still. I am constantly like jittering and jiggling, and I'm trying to stay still right now. Just hold it straight down, but it's too long of a fulcrum. If you know mechanics and physics, it's very hard to keep something still when it's further away. It gives you a little more reach, but it just makes it a lot harder to actually move around right and use these things how you should. Because if I'm trying to go places, they're too long. They're almost too long. They're only good for tagging when you have the tag upgrade. Doing any actual movement with these, like wall climbing with this thing, it's too long. You can't get good angles. Although with these long arms, you could probably like really juke people. Like you can have a good like jump right over them. Oh, got him. But it basically comes back down to the pros and cons. It's very long, so it gets in the way, but you also have better reach. But it's also harder to move around right because it's kind of wacky. And in my opinion, it's so much worse, at least on Steam, to have the super long arms. These are pretty much worthless. F tier forever. Get rid of them. And then we move on to the last long arms, the Extendo Arms. This one fixes almost every issue that you could possibly have with long arms. At least when you have it fully upgraded, you can choose how long it is. So now I have short stilts whenever I want it. I can still tag with it since I have that upgrade, and they can be super long, probably longer than the actual long arms. So let's see which one is longer. Let me try and put that like directly up. And we have the super long arms here and the extendo arm. Oh yeah, these extendo arms definitely get a lot longer. But the best thing about these extendo arms is it removes all of the cons of all the other long arms because you can choose how long it is. So I can leave it super extended when I'm out in open spaces, but when I'm around, say, near this pumpkin, I can just press down on the joystick and then I can just get through here, and then I can make it longer again whenever I want. Although I'm still not good when it's super long, but that's more of a skill issue. But then you can just not have it all the way out. And I could just like put it like short still. And then I can have this. Yeah, boom. I will say the way that we are doing this is getting rid of one of the upgrades that long arms has when you have 2 extendo arms. This upgrade right here, muscle fusion, where you will have basically a speed boost when you have 2 extendo arms. So to compare it, here's one, just normal speed, maybe possibly a little faster if there was an upgrade for that. Kind of don't remember. I'm rock monkey right now. I don't really know this speed. And then with 2 extendo arms, you can go a lot faster. At least let me be good with the long arms. Boom, 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 boom. And also my thumbstick's kind of broke, so it likes to just kind of keep extending. So I don't really use that. But even without that speed boost, the extendo arms are definitely the best version of any of the long arms. It lets you choose the specific size of it, which that is all the long arms right there. And I can make it even longer than the longest long arms. Then I can make it shorter than the shorter long arm. It's literally the best for any of the long arms. And for that reason, I'm going to be giving this an S tier. Our first S tier. This is one of the best ones. And now it is time to move on to the Dash Yoyo. And this is the only one that we have here. Fully upgraded, you can tag with it, and it's basically just Spider-Man web swinging. Recharge time isn't that bad either. Let's see what it is. All right, so let's do that. And then we'll wait for it. 1, 2, 3, 4, like 4 seconds. But in my opinion, the Dash Yoyo is one of the best ones. It's just the funnest to use. You can just be Spider-Man. I'm Spider-Monkey. Spider-Monk, Spider-Monk. He's gonna climb the wall, Spider-Monk. Can he swing from a yo-yo? Yes, he can, because it's super infection. And I also think it's one of the coolest looking ones. I don't know why, but this gives me like alien kind of architecture technology type of look. And it's my favorite one, so totally unbiased opinion. We have our second S tier, the Dash Yoyo. So if you think differently, you're wrong, you're wrong, you're wrong, and you're wrong. But now it's time to move on to the platforms. We have 2 of these, the air jump and bouncy. We're going to start with the regular air jump. And it's pretty self-explanatory. You have platforms. I can't do it here. It's pretty self-explanatory. You have platforms, and you can place down platforms. And wherever you want to go, you can just place down a platform. I'm not sure what the recharge time is or how long it takes for them to disappear. A few seconds, maybe like 10, 15, something like that. I'm still waiting for these to recharge. Just got another one. And then I'm about to get my 5th one. This one takes a while to recharge. Maybe better than the thrusters though, because you get like 5 of them. Yeah, now I can do more platforms. Let's go. Easy air jump. I can get all the way up here. Boom. Spider. Scary. Go away. But just like the canister rocket, most of your time using this is pretty much just waiting. You're pretty much just waiting, unless you're doing just one big jump where like you just can't make it. Like, I want to get to the top of Pavilion, so I have to use one platform to make it there. And that's my movement for, like, most of the game. Because only having 5 kind of sucks. How high up will 5 even let me get? About this high, about to this platform. You could probably get a little bit more if you were better. But that does not excuse the fact that these are kind of worthless compared to the rest of them. The only thing I think it's really good for is just those 1 jumps. Or if you're going to camp, you can camp. You can just, like, make a sky base and just sit here. And you just sit here forever. It's Fortnite. We're playing Fortnite Skyblock. Let's go. So for that reason, I'm going to be giving these also an F tier. These are bad. I didn't mean to fling myself. But now let's move on to our last one, the Bouncy Platforms. These are pretty much like the regular platforms, except they're bouncy. You get a speed boost when you jump off of them. Honestly, it's just an upgrade that they added a second version of it too. They could have done that with a lot of the different gadgets, but really, I feel like this could have just replaced your regular platforms. Like, it's just bouncy platforms. Do you really need a different one? It might be just a little harder to stay on this, but you just get more height. They're better, but like, I don't think there's really a reason for both of them to coexist. You do still have 5 uses, and I think it's the same amount for recharge time, but I think that definitely, it's something that could have been done with like the thrusters, where we could have had the basic thrusters still, instead of having just the Canister Rocket and Propeller Thruster when we're done fully upgrading. Lucy's back again. Is this 3 or 4? It's a long recording. Anyway, since this is slightly better than the regular platforms and is bouncy, everything else, it's a little better. It's pink. I don't know if it's because my color's pink, but with pink platforms, yeah, W. I'm going to be giving these a D tier. These are pretty bad. Platforms all around are pretty bad, but they are very known. Lucy, why would you do this? Why? Why? Help! Help! But Gorilla Tag Platform Mod, you gotta have it. It's like one of the most popular old school mods. Boom, platform. I can't place. Boom, platform. I'm out of frame now. I'm back. But that was my ranking of all of the new Gorilla Tag modding gadgets. Let me know what your thoughts are, because it doesn't really matter. Mine were the facts. I only spit facts. This whole video was just all facts. No opinions whatsoever. Use code SNAIL, subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video.